The smallest champion, the greatest legend. He was born in Africville, a small community in Halifax, where the weight of discrimination and poverty was felt on every corner. Weighing only 87 pounds and standing 5 feet 3 inches tall, George Dixon seemed too fragile for the world. But inside him burned a silent storm, a determination no one could measure. In the shadows of Halifax's cold streets, he learned to fight not just with fists, but with strategy, intelligence, and courage that defied even giants. This is the man who redefined boxing. This is George Dixon, is the story of the first black world champion and the first Canadian to reach the top. George Dixon grew up in Africville, a marginalized community where every day was a test of resilience. The smell of damp wood, the sound of waves hitting the harbor, and the echo of weary voices shaped his childhood. The son of a black family in a world that rarely offered chances, he learned early that survival required more than physical strength. It demanded cunning and courage. As a boy, he fought with friends and rivals, improvising movements that would later become the foundation of shadowboxing. His eyes, always attentive, absorbed every gesture, every stance, every weakness of his opponent. There, in Halifax's streets and alleys, George began forging not only his body but his mind, preparing for a destiny no other boy his age could imagine. By the age of 18, George Dixon stepped into the ring and showed the world that size does not define greatness. In 1888, he defeated Tommy Spider Kelly and began etching his name into history by claiming the world bantamweight title. Every punch he threw was calculated, every movement a dance, a choreography of intelligence and precision. Fame came quickly, but he did not succumb to its shine. Instead, he honed his technique, inventing and popularizing shadowboxing, studying opponents like a master, studying a deadly chess match. In 1892, moving up to featherweight and defeating Fred Johnson, George proved he could challenge not just larger men, but the expectations of a world that never believed a young black Canadian could dominate the international ring. Yet glory never comes without shadows. In 1897, George lost the featherweight title to Solly Smith, a blow that seemed to cut not only his reign, but his own confidence. The defeat left invisible scars. Frustration throbbed in his fists, and doubt haunted his steps outside the ring. With each close fight, each contested decision, he felt the weight of prejudice and expectations crumble upon him. Applause waned, and the public spotlight dimmed, replaced by the chill of obscurity. Still, Dixon did not surrender. He studied, trained, and observed, preparing for the redemption he knew would come, not only from his fists, but from his tireless mind and unwavering courage. In 1898, George Dixon gave the world the ultimate proof of his greatness. He reclaimed the featherweight title by defeating Dave Sullivan, showing that a fall does not define a champion. Outside the ring, he was more than a fighter. He created the George Dixon Specialty Co., bringing art and inspiration to cities across Canada and the United States. Every step, every performance, every victory reaffirmed his legacy as a pioneer, the first black man to win a world title, the first Canadian to enter boxing history. Even facing future defeats and the challenges of a short life, Dixon inspired generations, teaching that skill, intelligence, and courage can transcend physical, social, and racial barriers. In the end, George Dixon left not only titles behind, but a story that echoes through time. The streets of Africville, the American rings, the spotlight of his troupe, everything witnessed the courage of a man small in size, but enormous in determination. He passed away early, at 37, amid loneliness and illness. Yet his legend endured. Every shadow of training, every calculated punch, every triumph wrested from the impossible remains a reminder that the impossible exists only for those who do not dare. George Dixon transformed pain into strength, rejection into glory, and even centuries later, his name resounds The champion who showed the world that courage and intelligence can overcome any limit.